Mentor, learning from a person who helps you to grow. Namaskar and welcome to the very first podcast of Samvaad with Mentor. Our today's guest has experience of more than 40 years and has helped innumerable students to grow and succeed in their life. An educator, as she likes to call herself, a mathematician, as I like to call her, Mrs. Amala Stanley, a principal whose dedication to education knows no bounds. She is not only an educator but also a visionary in the field of education. So let's welcome Mrs. Amala Stanley. Hello, ma'am. Welcome to Samvaad with Mentor. For our viewers, let us know who is Amala Stanley.
So very simple. Amala Stanley is highly a human, and in general, it would say I am a giver. Whatever I have received, I would like to share with the people, especially in knowledge part. Whatever I have received, I want to give. And to tell you the fact, my happiness quotient is always at high level.
And sweetness quotient is also at a high level.
Thank you.
Okay, so ma'am, how did you think of pursuing a career as a teacher and then going on for 4 decades being an educator, a principal and all such things?
See, as a teacher, I could recall like very early age, I knew it was my passion because as a student from childhood, I was one of the top rankers. But you will find me always with the learning strugglers. My friends were always learning strugglers. So I had a good listening skill in the class because I do not waste my time again and again read at home. So I used to listen to the teachers nicely, and whatever I had gathered, I will share with my friends, those who struggle to learn. So that is a revision for me. So naturally, and they were all quite happy, and what they shared, what I have shared with them, they go on right.
So basically, you're a born teacher.
So that's what, that is my principal asset. If you see, principal, I did not want to be. In fact, very early age, it was thrust upon me.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, when I was told, I had gone home, that my father was there. I told Papa, I don't want to be a principal, but the management wants me to be. He asked me why. I said, because throughout my life, I had seen principals very stiff and serious faces. And I'm not confident enough to keep a serious face always. So that is my weak point. So I don't want to be. Then he nicely said, when your management has got confidence upon you, why don't you have one thing? Second thing, who wants you to be like your previous principals? You be on your own. So then I accepted with that confidence, and I maintained myself. When I was not to copy anyone, I have to be like this, I have to be like that. I was myself.
So we should be thankful to your father that you were my principal for a very long time.
Yes, yes.
So I have seen you work for a very long time now. As you say, it has been 4 decades around. How do you keep that energy going? Because every time I see you, you're very cheerful. When I was in school, you were there with the most mastikor kids. Your hand on their shoulder and you're walking with them throughout the corridor.
Yes,
How you keep that energy up?
See, that energy, one thing I would say, it is God blessed, because I don't take any extra effort to be energetic. See, to tell you the fact, I was myself a happiness manufacturer, myself. I don't depend upon anyone for my happiness. And maybe since my profession was with kids, when I was offered job in junior college also, I did not take up. I want to be with kids because that is the formation period. So I felt I have to be with them, and naturally I have to come to their level. Unless I am at their level, the generation gap will be there. So it's from my energetic till day, means the way I had enjoyed that period of being with the kids, that keeps me still going with the same energy.
You're having energy of the kids. Talking about energy, what is that you love about working with students?
Very important, or what I enjoyed in the profession, that I was happy that I chose this profession for one reason, maybe I may have as a teacher in the classroom, I may have 60 children. One teacher teaching one subject, right? The same time teaching 60 children. But every child was unique. Every child is unique. That individuality, the individuality of every child I was enjoying. Means for me, certain things are boring if I'm with something for a longer time, I get bored. Because I enjoyed it, I understand it, there is nothing more to explore.
It becomes monotonous after a particular time.
But here not like that. Every child is unique and every day is fresh. The freshness is there every day with a child. Children are very fresh every day, not like us adults. They are very fresh every day. Every morning they are very fresh. And every child is unique. This individuality, this difference in them, that I used to enjoy most. No, even the elder brother is not the same as the younger brother. Even the twins I had. 1 year I had 6 twins in the same, different. Though even those twins were not so...
They have two different identities altogether.
So this uniqueness I enjoyed with the children because my brain has to think so much. What I apply to this child may not work for this child. So I have to find something else for him. Maybe the act may be the same, but still I cannot apply for what I apply to one child and I cannot apply to the other.
As they say, every child learns in a different way.
This kind of uniqueness, that difference in them, that I enjoyed the more with students.
Okay. Now, as I say, you are a mathematician. You were the teacher I learned from without using a blackboard. Ma'am used to come. She used to sit on that table. She used to, either say A low, write a 2 above, now it is a square. And I enjoyed that process. I never taught maths. And you taught me maths in, I guess, 9th and 10th. These were the only 2 years. And I enjoyed it. Currently, the most underlying problem I face from parents is, usko maths pasand hi nahi hai. उसको कितना भी सिखाओ, उसको मैथ्स आता ही नहीं है. The problem which they face. So the question here is how to learn maths.
See, mathematics is such a subject. It can, first of all, don't make it serious. The subject is made serious unnecessarily. It's hyped so much. It is just, you told me without using the blackboard because for me, mathematics is something which is connecting real with unreal, which is connecting with facts and imagination. So, for imagination, I need their brain, not any picture or anything. So, most of the time when I say number 1, when I say if number 1 or 2, what comes to your mind is that picture. That 1 comes to your mind, 2 comes to your mind. I need not draw and show to you. So I was mostly depending on their imagination power because human brain is for imagination. So I went with that. If this kind of thing is taught right from the basic. See, suddenly, unfortunately, I started taking mathematics for you only 9th or 10th. Which your brain is not used right from the beginning that. And if I tell the teachers also, maybe they were not very much equipped with that method. But when I go to smaller classes for mathematics, then I understood the problem. What is in the higher classes, they are not able to pick up suddenly. And against my conscience, I will... Because when you write on the blackboard, what I observed of the children, when you write on the blackboard, they are not focusing on mathematics. They are not focusing on the teacher. They are not focusing on the content, but busy copying. They don't even understand what they have copied. If I write by mistake 2 plus 3 is equal to 7, they will write 2 plus 3 is equal to 7. So they are not connecting to it. But I got them in connection when I don't use the blackboard. I told you every child is individual, every child is unique. So when I am teaching, my eyes is very much scanning every child. They were, according to their expression, then I change my method. If it doesn't work, do something else.
Then why do kids fear maths?
See, there was, one guy was there. He was in Congress guy. He used to tell, Amala madam ka school mein to bachcho log ko maths ka dar rahe nahi hai. See, that is because the way I had put it right from the beginning. One thing, this mathematics, as I said, connect with your real life, I used to take one problems, when I come to word problems and all, I connect everything to their life. In algebra, very famous sum was there. When you are born, the mother was 28 years old. So I used to always tell, understand, this is your life problem.
Algebraic
Because
expressions.
the difference between the mother and the child always remains the same. So just because in 5 years when your mother is telling, you must have been listening or you must have been using a good tone to her. But when you are 15 years, you think you are grown. You think I am 15 years now, but you forget the fact that your mother has also grown by 10 years. So the difference between you both is always the same.
Going to be the 10 years.
So it's a life you connect. So anytime she commands respect. So just because you are grown, don't forget that you should you can disrespect her, because the age difference remains. She is always elder to you by so many years. So like that, if you connect the problems with your life, practical life, the children will remember forever. See, we make them by heart the formula, right? Memory is important. By heart the formula. Then inject some numbers into the formula and get result. It's not mathematics. They should know why that formula, how that formula. They should know. In case if they are forgetting the formula also, they are able to derive the formula. That much you have to give them. Then they learn mathematics. Actually in mathematics, if the children are depending on somebody, they will never learn mathematics. A good mathematics teacher will make the child a self-learner of mathematics, self-thinker of mathematics. When I used to teach my son also, he used to tell, Amma, you give me my line of thinking in this sum. He'll never ask me teach the sum, because I trained him like that. You give me the line of thinking for this sum, little trigger, then the child should be able to think. As such, mathematics is not at all a difficult subject. Not because I am a mathematician and say that. The way you deliver it to the child, the mathematics should never be a difficult subject for the child, because there are two types of languages in mathematics. One is a common language, one is special language. So mathematical language is there. Another one is an ordinary language. Both you make them, influence them right from the childhood, You start mathematics as a language, teach in that way, then you come to the figures. Language is very long, but numbers, it is very short,
You told me once, one you have to write ONE1, but while writing it in numericals, you have to just write one single
so how
digit.
it is easy, So when you make them feel comfortable right from the childhood, so whenever I take, even in 9th standard children, some children were no foundation at all. And children, those who are made to memorize the sums right from childhood, they can memorize to what age? Maximum 4th standard. After that, it is expanding. They cannot go on memorizing. So automatically they become weak.
And after 4th standard, gradually the percentage start dropping.
Because portion is expanding. The child memory is remaining the same, memory power. The neuronic structure, neural connections are remaining the same. And you put so much. So his method is not helping him over there. So the mathematics is depending upon the method of learning. So he should be a self-learner. If you bring him to that level, mathematics will never be difficult. In 9th, when I get the children as an adult also, first I start from the basic. One child, you won't believe, I had started in SSC from 2nd standard maths. In SSC. When I took him alone, of course, because my abstract method, he will not get into it. So when I teach, I tell him, see, because of yours, one or two students, I cannot bring my speed down, because there are majority of the other students who pick up my speed. So I used to tell them, whatever you want to do, you do in my maths class. Anything you want to do, you do, but just don't make noise. Don't disturb others. They'll be doing anything, drawing or anything. Then I took them out. Then I understood their basic is so bad. Then I had to start for them from 2nd standard maths. Alone, separately, which I cleared within 3-4 months. Then in November, I started SSC maths for them, for their exams. See, that means mathematics is difficult if the foundation was not okay.
Now, from here, let me pick again. Corona, there was a 3 years gap, right? So my kids were taught percentage, decimals, all this in 4th, 5th, 6th standard. They were sitting at home in front of their laptops. And now when they are in 8th and 9th, and they are doing compound interest, and they are not capable of, cancellation also they are not capable of doing because they have not done that before in school. Practice has not been there. Parents are like, ma'am, bachcha piche chhoot gaya 3 saal. Like, we have lost our money, I agree, but kids have lost their education in those 3 years. So to this parents, what is the solution for this question? That they have lost 3 years of mathematics, because language and all that can be learned and it can be enhanced, but you cannot do that with mathematics. So what to do for that?
Yeah, from the mathematics such that gradual, from the first step to the second to the third. If the first and second is not known, definitely, see, 6th standard maths is not completed, 7th you cannot do. So this 3 years, you have to pick up at least the portion, what is required. Now suppose if the child has come to 8th standard, he has missed 6, 7 in this. So you have to go from his 5th standard. You cannot, but there is a speed level, how to, you cannot do the entire 5th standard maths, then you will not finish now. Like,
because when the schools resumed, they started with the current batch, current standards.
Yes.
They don't have enough time to, go back to those 3 years. Even the classes or personally, parents, if you would see, currently both parents are working. So we are sending a child to a class, we are sending a child to a school, we are sending him to an educator, someone, and they are taking care of it. My take is, I'll be teaching him this year. Parents come with complaint. नहीं, उसको पिछला 2 साल का आता ही नहीं है. Teachers come with complaint. नहीं, आपका बच्चा weak है. So what is the child going to do at that point of time?
No, you can say one thing. Remember, in the child's progress, child's growth, no blame game. It should be very clear. Parent, you cannot blame the teacher. Teacher, you cannot blame the parent. It's a triangular thing. Parent, teacher, child. Both of you, the child is the focus. So you can't blame and push the matter to somebody else. So both of you jointly take up the responsibility. Yes. Now see what I say sometimes. I ask, who is their neighbor? Who can help you at home? Then I call them personally. And I tell them, can you this part, because I am not with this child for 24 hours. Sometime can you spend on this matters, can you help him so that he'll be able to cope up with me here? I do this much portion, you do this much portion. I do that. Elder brother I call, or uncle I call, neighbor I call. Like that I have done that. Even sometimes going for tuition teacher, I call the tuition teacher. No schools entertain tuition teacher, but I am the only one who must entertain tuition teachers. I'd call them personally to my office. See, this child I am struggling to entirely to do myself. Since you are a helper, I am giving a method for some time. Follow my way. Then you can start whatever you want. So that I divide the portion. This much you take, this much my school will take care. Then once the level comes, then you go your method, your way, like that. So like that, unless the first and the second, third is done, fourth you cannot go. It is a waste, pure waste. So both of you don't blame each other. Better do the 1 to 4 or something. Even in when a new academic year begins, especially mathematics teachers, I always insist, first 15 days, revise the previous portion. When you come to 5th standard, revise the first to 4th portion. First and second are very basic. Third, fourth. First revise 15 days. Brush them up. Then you go. In the 2 months, they forget and come. In the 2 months, April, May, they forget and come. But if they are forgetting, another thing you should know, they have not learnt mathematics. Because this mathematics and grammar is such that it is forever learning. If the child has learnt, means it is forever.
Right.
Because it is not like other subject or language. If I say 3 plus 2 is 5 only. Once it is proved it is 5 forever. No more progressing on no more changing on this forever. So whatever he learns is forever. Science may not be, sometimes it can be disproved. But mathematics is, once it is proved, it is forever. So, if he is forgetting, means first we have to get a signal that he has not learnt it thoroughly. Okay, so make him learn thoroughly there. Then only the teacher can do the 5th standard portion. That's because what I always tell the teachers, in mathematics teachers, have your up to 4th standard books and 6th standard book. Suppose a 5th standard teacher should have the 4th standard book and the 6th standard book. You should know whether the child is from 4th, if I am able to do the 5th with the basic of 4th, and whether I am able to connect this child to the 6th standard. Right. So a 5th standard teacher should have both 4th and the 6th book. This is the thing I had told my maths teachers always. They used to go that way. So don't push the back to somebody else. I have to do. That's it.
Also, the formula which we have learned as a kid for doing maths, everyone used to tell the same thing. Practice. Practice. The more you practice, the better you'll become with mathematics. So you know what classes and all do? If you have taken maths, you have to study for 1 hour extra. Because there are now options. Many boards are giving options after 8th standard. You can not include maths in your curriculum. So see, if you're taking maths, you have to have study 1 hour extra daily. So these are the things which are being put in kids. So kid is like, रोज 1 घंटा extra बैठने से better है. I won't take maths only. So what to do with that?
See, people think practice is required only if the child has not understood it. If the child has not learnt the concept, then you have to drill it. You cannot understand only better 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. Practice is required.
Right.
How, why this 2 and 3 becomes 5, if he knows very clearly, no need to do it again and again. Go to some other sum. See, when I'm sometimes in the classes, I in my classroom also I used to have A, B, C level. A is 40 marks level. B is 60 to 70 marks level. Then C is higher level. So I must see whether A is attended by all the children. And if some children have completed already A, I give them the B level. Go for the B level. The B level is over, go for the C level. Don't waste your time with the A level. And A level, what is not for you, don't try that. Try first A level. So what I mean to say is, the children should be, you should be able to tackle them for mathematics as individual and don't give the same practice to the whole class.
There should be an individualistic approach.
Individual. The mathematics practice is highly individual. It is not for the whole class. You give 10 papers and make the whole class, it's so boring. I know, again and again, do it. So boring. See, I have got children, when I interview in junior KG, I never interview them in junior KG because they're babies, they're coming, then what I'm going to learn if I'm going to test their previous knowledge.
You had my interview taken, I'll tell you a
but
story
I
later.
talk something else with them. No, ABCD you tell, no this thing. Because one child, manager was asking, give me one poem, then Baba Blacks. The child was telling, I have told my auntie already, ask her. The child doesn't want to repeat it. So when an intelligent kid, if he doesn't want to repeat it, why do you make him practice again and again? So if the concept is clear to the child, go for the next. It is not clear yet. You cannot you have to practice with him. You cannot give him 10 sums and you practice and do it. No, you have to practice with him because concept is not yet clear to him. Once the concept is clear, no requirement for practice.
And then we have to move ahead, grow.
Then go to the next level. This should be very clear with the parents as well as the teachers.
Now I'll tell you, you had my interview taken. I knew only 3 colors. Black, white and pink. So my father wore white, my mother wore black and I was made to wear pink. Okay, and I knew few animals. So I went and I said, and you asked me, so what is your name and everything? What color are you wearing? I said, pink. So she said, fine, you're good, talkative. And I was just talking to her. No, you didn't ask me, this is black, this is white, this is elephant, because I knew only those 4 questions. So they had prepared me for those 4 questions. See, this is elephant on your table. I knew only those 4 questions. So I was prepared for that thing.
Yeah, that intelligence part, I can understand even in KG interview itself. One kid I remember, when I asked him, what's your name, child? And he said, some name he said. Then that's what is your father's name? I wanted to know the father. He says he knows to speak, ask him. See the intelligent part. I can speak out my name. Even he can speak out his name. Why do you ask me?
You ask his questions to him.
I ask his name him only. He knows to speak. He was telling, usko bhi aata hai. Baat karne ko hota hai. I said, okay. Then I mark and keep Sometimes when the children are crying, okay, I'll give you a 5-star. Once the father was said, don't cry so much like my child, I'll give you a 5-star. Immediately the child, itna bada 5-star nahi milta, itna hi milta. I immediately mark and keep. See, these are the things you have to understand of the child.
The child's
not
observations.
ABCD, Or once the father was going on ABCD, I told father, then what we are going to teach in the school?
You have already thought ABCD.
So like that. That's the individuality of the child to enjoy.
Now, one more, like this question I really love. मेरा बच्चा बहुत होशियार है टीचर, सिर्फ पढ़ाई नहीं करता है, उसको कुछ भी पूछो उसको सब आता है, but he is not going good in his exams, he is not scoring good percentage. कितना परसेंट आया? 40%. बहुत होशियार है. Now what should I tell to such parents?
Hushar in what? Very first question. Whenever the parents tell me, like, my child is very intelligent, but still I don't know why. I told intelligence is not the overall matter. Intelligent in what? Be specific. See, for example, people call me very intelligent as a principal, but home management I may be very poor. So you cannot call me overall intelligent. I am teach big mathematics. I cannot go and buy 1 kg kanda in 1 kg of onion from the market. But market intelligence is not in me. Maybe 5,000 children I manage. That is another kind of intelligence. So you cannot brand me as an intelligent person. Whenever somebody says intelligent, you have to ask intelligence in what? So when the parent says, my child is itna hushar hai, in what? In what? You can't expect him. Unfortunately, in our education system or in the school system, marks mark the intelligence. It's very wrong. Now, my grown-up children, if I ask those who had got so much marks where they are, and average children are doing quite well. Means, see, a child must be learning mathematics numbers with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by heart. Another child must be playing housey. His learning is different. And he may be more powerful later. So this is what, you don't go by, unfortunately, marks. And we never taught the children to compete themselves. We have always made them competing with others. When the parent says, my child is only 40, so what? Let us try for 50 again. Immediately my neighbor's son is 90. They both were 40 only before. Now he is 90. Don't compare.
I was going to come to the same question. Now the parent is bringing the child to me, 40% का child. Ma'am, बहुत होशियार है. He just needs a push. इसको push नहीं, इसको धक्के का जरूरत है. The level which you want to reach, it needs धक्का. It's just not a small push. So fine, we sit with the child. Teacher will, work on the child and all. And next exam, the child scores 42 or 43%, which is better than last time.
Of course.
Now parents are not expecting 40 to 43. They are expecting 40 to 60.
That is what. They don't reflect back on their life. See, now I always tell, what was with me? Now I tell my son sometimes, don't force that you have to take care of your mother like that. Because my mother or my mother-in-law, I had never taken care. No chance to take care. So I have no right to ask you to take care of me. Take care of me, it's so fine. But I cannot demand, because which I did not do to my parents. Similarly, which I did not do, how can you expect your child? That's what I always tell the parent. It may be very hurting to the parents. I always tell them, disown your child. When you are owning so much is mine, his mine, then you impose yours into him. Disown. In the sense, that's what I tell you. Now, Abdul Kalam, he was such a big scientist. For his achievement, nobody knew how his family celebrated, yeah? The country celebrated him. The state celebrated him. Means he is for the country. He is for the society. Not for the family. Only the family was given the responsibility to bring him up a good citizen. So nobody says he is mine. My son is born to the world through me. God has given me the responsibility to bring him up to the society, for the welfare of the society. So don't go by this 40%, 50%. Even when you go for interviews, who is going to ask you your percentage so much? They'll check your soft skills, where you are, whether you are able to work with the team properly, whether you are able to think intelligently, not that academically. So this parents' awareness is very, very important. You see, it is as an educator, before educate the child, educating the parent is very important, because their thought process is so different, so different. And that imposes a problem on the child for his future. See, the world is very much unknown. 40 years back, I did not know this world is going to be computerized. But today I have to cope up with the computer system. So, are you preparing the child to be ready for the unknown in his life?
Or are you keeping them in a cocoon? Like,
Yes.
my bacha.
Who are you?
They are coming to class. Usko sabke samne mat chillao. He gets anxiety. A 3-year ka child, a 3rd standard ka child, or 2nd standard ka child is getting anxiety. The child is getting stress.
No, that's what I say. One parent once told me, like, Madam, he needs love. I told, who are you to the child? I asked, mother. More than mother, who can give love? So when you understand he is lacking love, you give. No, Madam, I get up at 4 o'clock and go for work. Acha, you want me to child care center or what? This is like, See, they don't understand, like, why you don't think for the child. You don't think like he should be like this or he is like this. No, don't think. Accept him as he is, as original as he is, and accordingly take him. No, see, for example, even my teachers, sometimes they apply for, as parents, they apply for leave. Month of March only they will tell, Madam, my son is appearing for SSC exam. You give me a leave. I'll take leave February, like 1 month. Like most of my teachers, I tell them no. I'll not grant leave. Madam, you cannot be so rude. No, I will sanction. But I'll sanction you in June and July. Not March, February, March. Because you put him on the learning process.
Right.
June, July. You leave him in month of March. What are you going to do to
In
him?
1 month, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? In case you're taking leave, will give him more pressure. My mother is taking leave for me. That means I'm something in a very different stage now. The fear, my mother even taking leave. Still, if I don't pass, if I don't get this much marks, my parent have taken leave. You're putting him under pressure. Instead, June, July, you take leave. Watch his learning process. Make him, because a learning process for each child is different. How your elder son was learning, like younger son is not learning that, like that, different. Watch him, train him, put him on the track, keep him free. Month of March, you should be relaxing.
And throughout the year, just keep a check whatever I have given to you in June, July, whether he is following
they say, no,
the same
madam, I
things.
have to give him food, so don't want to give him food in June, July. What do you mean?
What was he doing throughout the year?
I have to give him coffee, I have to give him like that. That's nonsense, man. The track you put first, starting track. See, myself, you won't believe, when my son was doing SSC, March 15th, his exam starts. Before 10 days, he is sleeping only all that. But I am sure he has completed before that. It is really sincerely to have done it. You relax no whole, before examination, you relax. I always tell, once I had written an article in a paper, like, celebrate examination. So don't put them under stress. Either the teacher or parent, celebrate examination. Our education is in the right track if a child is going to celebrate examination. I have completed, now I want to be checked whether I know or not. Like, the child should want to appear for examination. But here not like that now.
Also, your views on during examination, parents have that thing. You should keep a timetable. You should get up very early. सुबह 5 बजे पढ़ाई बहुत अच्छे से होता है. या फिर you should be awake till late night. शाम को रात को पढ़ाई बहुत अच्छे से होता है.
It may be for you, but what about the child? Maybe you had been, I always say, sun person, moon person. If I had learned only in the nights very nicely, means I am a moon person. Sun, I am not able to. During the sun, I am not able to. Because of that, I cannot tell my son, he may be a sun person. He may be a learner during that.
Very commonly, parents will come. मैडम 9 बजे तक सोता है, 12 बजे तक सोता है, रात को 3 बजे तक पढ़ाई करता है, रात को जग के किसका. And I'm like, now what to tell this? पढ़ाई तो कर रहा है ना. At whatever time he's studying, he's studying for himself.
Leave it to him, whether productive, whether the night or during the day, whether he is productive. You have to see only that. Unnecessarily don't put it. If a child is an SSC or 10th standard in any board, the whole family is no visitors, no festivals, no holidays, nothing.
It's everyone's exams.
So it's not like you don't pressure, put the child under pressure that something different. You are in 9th now, you are in 10th. That's it.
Mhm.
Why you make the 10th final, that exam very much a pressure matter like that? Unnecessarily we make one, when the child is born so free, stress free, is the world makes all the pressure, stresses to the child. So that's what happening. We are, I mean, what do you mean by first rank? My child got first rank. What do you mean by first rank? Suppose first rank is 50 marks. Is it a first rank? See the child, I am topping all. What is your percentage? 50.
Okay.
What is the glory in that? I was 40, now I am 90, there is a glory. But you feel first rank because you are 50, the other one is 48.
You're not looking at the personal growth of the child.
That's what. Who is responsible? We, the school, and the first rank, second rank, third rank, that's what once I remembered once, when I was teaching in 7th standard, the beginning, when I distribute the paper, when I look the expressions of the students, 34 wala is crying so much. 35, you got 30, that a percentage. 35, oh, the child is doing like this. 34 wala is crying. I am thinking, what's the difference between 34 and 35? 1 mark difference. Is crying for that. Neither the 35 is worried about the 65 loss, nor the 35 is worried about the 66 loss. He is worried about that one loss.
1 mark.
I thought, our system is so. Then I started doing the negative correction. If it's a 5 marks, means I put -2, -5, -3. So when you add the total, if it's -15, that means the child has scored 85. But in his mind, -15.
So where are those 15 marks? Exactly.
I should take care of this 15. So when the parents come for seeing the papers also, you should tell them, give them a paper side by side for the parent. In every question, what they have lost.
So it would be a mathematics for parents also, how much they have scored.
Like that. So that's a way to bring up the child, to growth mindset. We have to bring to the child no competition. I always feel, even when my children used to go for competitions outside for sports and all, sports or elocution competition or dance competitions, I used to tell them, my dear children, go to do it. I am not very fancy about the first prize, second prize, third prize. I am not fancy about the prizes. You have to tell very clearly. But I want you to go and do it. Enjoy doing it. Enjoy fighting with them. Not competing So we define success to them in a way to outdo somebody. To outdo somebody
to
means
beat
you are
someone
successful.
at something.
Yeah, you have beaten him, that is success. So for them, their colleagues are potential threat, not potential friend. So then when they see somebody as a potential threat, automatically other things starts to pull his leg down, to be jealous and to be angry with him, to spoil his name. All that starts from that because of we created in him. Competing him is your success. Instead, you make him grow. What you were here, now go to the next step. Then he will never. So these are the facts. When they come to the corporate level or higher level later, they always want to be pleasing to the boss compared to him. The boss eyes should be on me, not on him. See, it goes on like it's a never-ending process. And many sometimes go into depression at that level. No, kitna bhi karega to bhi usko compete karne ko nahi hota. Why to compete? What you were yesterday, I always say, your today should be little better than yesterday. That minute change you may not know, you may not realize. But 365 days, when you do 365 days growth, you will see end of the year. You may not realize the growth in one day. So always teach the children, I am better than yesterday today.
To evaluate your own growth cycle.
Yeah, better than him, her, or even better than your elder sister, younger sister. No. I am better. My day is better than yesterday. This kind of soft skills to be put in the children. It will be easy both for the parent and the teachers, in fact. See, I always say, what is more important for the child's growth? The family culture, parenting culture, as well as the school culture. Both should be there. The parents, without taking their family culture, if they are looking for the school culture, it is wrong. And the school, without maintaining a culture, positive culture, when I mean to say positive culture, then you are expecting the parents to do everything is also wrong. It should go parallel. See, for example, one example I give. When my son was in 2nd standard, he was doing something. Myself and my husband entered into a very heated argument. Then my son says, stop it, he was telling. I today do your business. We are having some issues, so we have to, don't shout. I told, if it is a disturbance, go to the other room and write. Let us finish this, I said. No, I can't go and do the other room also, he said. I got so upset. What is so dement like? Why, I asked. You know what he said? Amma, I am writing a composition, Home Sweet Home. It was a slap on my face. See, unless I create an atmosphere for him at home, how he will learn practically that? That was the last day we argued in front of him anytime. Both husband and wife. We stopped it after that. Anything, let us go inside and find out, not in front of him. So the family should take care of creating or having a positive culture at home first.
It's not only about food, clothing and shelter,
family
but
culture,
also about about the culture what you're putting into your child.
It's a whole family culture, a peaceful atmosphere to the child, and everything, a climate, a peaceful climate to the child. Then you expect from the external. School also, you first see to your culture. See, management should give a good space to the teachers. Happy teachers you form. When you form happy teachers, happy children. Happy family, happy children. So their growth is happy. When their growth is happy, happy world. It's all linked together. When we miss something here, solution will not be there. The good happy world we will not see.
Right. Also, there is one more policy, I guess, which was not there when we were in school, is promoting the kids. They are not failing kids up to a particular standard, and kids are very well aware about that fact. They are like, बच्चे इतना कर ले, at least score this much, you'll pass. अरे मिस अभी वो fail नहीं करते हैं. They promote us. So what are your views on this policy?
See, there is positive and negative, but the way it is projected. Once I happened to meet the education minister at that time for some other thing. Like that time I asked him, sir, no failure, the policy is good, no failure. Because who are we to fail a child at that age? But the way you projected is wrong. You should have, what is a no failures means what? The parents should see that, should work cooperating the school that such that the child should not fail. You know, the teachers must work in such a way that my child should not fail. So schools should see that the child is not failing.
Exactly.
But instead, you should not fail. You give published everywhere. Then the child gets another aspect of it, like, I need not work. Anyhow, I will not fail.
So you are saying we should bring the child up to a level where he shouldn't be failing. Rather than not failing them by your own self.
Yes. So from the time the government issued this no fail system, we never used to fail. But even after that only, I started working very hard. Because he has to pass, no? He cannot simply pass. Then in life, he will think like, kaisa bhi rehta to bhi chalega, I will be passing.
Promoted somewhere.
That should not be. So I used to tell the teachers, now you should be more careful that they shouldn't fail. Then I made the teachers like, you make it A, B, C system that I told you. No child should feel that I simply passed.
There should be levels.
So for every chapter, A, B, C level questions should be there. C level is up to 40-45% that all child should know. Every child, unless he is abnormal here, every child should know. 45. Even the dyslexia and all the difficult learners also should know up to 45%. Then leave them free because they cannot work more than that. Then up to 60-70% next level is there. Those are up to 70% level, they should know up to 70. Our working style should be like that. More than 70, that more intelligent children are there. Now, intelligent children are not deprived, gifted. They are get their feeding. Lower children also, they are not simply passing, because the question paper should have 45% that all can do. Then few more, so 45%, then around 30% next group can do. Then the rest C level. The question paper also should set like this, so that at least 45 every child will get. So I am passing myself, not that somebody promoting me. This we maintained after that.
Okay.
That is why in 9th standard, after the system, I did not fail them. Like, unless the child is irregular to the to the thing, or something here he is not able to cope up at all. Like, then I advise them, you go as private, because some children, parents, I used to convince them. Not that I don't want to keep the child here, but he may not be able to, because we maintain one speed in the school. He may not be able to cope up with this speed. But if he's a private, according to him, it can be taught. If you want, I will help him privately. But with the school, he will be dependent. He has to take part in all the activities and all that. Where he needs a lot of time for this, that can be as a private candidate, it can be done, but not with the school. I used to convince them. Then whom all I can work like, I take them to 10th. And those who are little bit near...
Yeah, I remember, even when we were 10th, you had a special batch of few kids who used to wait after school.
Yes,
They used to sit with you when
so
then
2
study.
o'clock, see, one child, you won't believe, when I was teaching, I remember his name also, Prasad. He did not do anything in 10th standard. And unfortunately, I used to go and tell in 9th, my dear children, learn Hindi Marathi very nicely. Okay, social studies also do it. Maths fail hoega to bhi chalega. But so these children used to study Hindi Marathi very nicely, because those are the 2 subjects I cannot help. So, and in SSC, when I was myself and one more teacher who can work with me parallelly, when I was teaching, I could feel that this child cannot understand anything. Like, I said, Prasad, I gave work. Prasad, how you came to 10th, man? Nothing, I failed, you only promoted me, he said. Oh God. Okay. Then I used to take him 1 to 3, still couldn't cope up. That one child whom I started from 3rd standard maths. Then again used to take him home 5 to 7, 8. So much patience. And one day, maybe I told him, hey, Prasad, it's not possible, man. How you are doing? How? At home, he said, if madam said I'm not possible, it's not possible, then I can't do it. Whole night. Then 2 o'clock, I got a call from the parent. Madam, he's so upset that he says, if Amala madam says I can't do, means I can't. I will give the phone to him. I say, hey, Prasad, if you don't pass, nobody will pass, man. See, if I cannot do, I will not take. Remember, this is what, madam. So if I take any means, you will do it. Don't worry. I was angry with somebody which I showed upon you. And I said, yeah, madam, I will do. No, definitely will do. Tomorrow you come, I said. You won't believe, I was the conductor of examination. When the maths question paper came, they were all waiting for me to distribute. I said, wait. This Prasad will do. This Prasad will do. This Prasad will do. So going on that much, like. So there were 3 children of that sort. I always say, this year, with 3 P's, I don't have peace. I used to say that comment. And that child got 57%. So after that, for his BCom, he will come to fill the form with me. Even his 11th and 12th, he filled the form with me. When I checked, his IQ was very low. We had not noticed. Childhood, that learning disability, we did not notice. And that's what I once told the education officer. Kya learning disability, LD, change that LD. The child is feeling learning disability, a negative word. So why don't you say different learner? DL you put no instead of LD. Put DL. He needs a different method. So put it as different learner. If I am not able to handle that child, then I am a TD, teaching disabilities with me. So, but is a different learner, you put, the teachers will be aware that he should be taught differently. Like. And these are the children I used to take outside. And I used to teach them. There is not even a single child has failed of that disabled.
Because I remember for 12 years, I was in school, we had 100% result always. I know why that result was 100%, because in ninth you used to take out few kids. You're not going to sit with me throughout the year. I'm going to teach you. Till prelims, you're going to be with me. And you are making sure that kids are going to pass. Now, coming to the new age, 21st century, online education structure and all such things are booming currently. What do you think? Is this making kids' life simple or is it making more difficult for them?
It depends how you do it. So, new education policy I had gone through once I was addressing also about it. Like, policy is good. In fact, whatever has been said in the policy, 10-15 years back, I wanted it. I had discussed with somebody. That's when new education policy was released. Immediately that person called me, Madam, you remember you had discussed with me these points that now they have come out with that. I told, yeah, I am very happy. But the question is implementation. How we are going to implement it. So what I would say, every school has got its own infrastructure, own culture. Whether there's one new education policy, whether all the schools in its own structure is able to adapt, that we have to check. But because of that, we have already given sanction to one school which doesn't have anything. But now even that has to adapt to new education policy in a very typical way. It may not be that much possible. So you cannot check word to word whether it goes new education. Even forget new education policy. So many education policies are there every year for 5 years. But whether the schools are following that education policy, what they made new education policy is not something different. It was already there. After Kothari Commission, this commission, that commission, already education policy is there. But nobody is bothered to follow it
implement
it very strictly. Or the people education side also were not keen to check it properly whether it is going or not. So now they made it new education policy, somewhat it is hammered into schools. Now how you are going to implement it? You in your existing structure, in your infrastructure, are you able to implement the whole thing? Okay, then what we should do? See the purpose of this NEP. What is its purpose ultimately? It wants every child enters as a child. When he comes out, he should be a leader. He should be a legend. To take decision on his own. Self-directed personality. Ultimately, if you see the whole thing, it is ultimately coming to a child. When he comes out, she should be a
self-sufficient person.
So, in your infrastructure, taking these points, are you able to implement it?
Now, when a child gets out from a college or an educational institute, is having a degree, goes for an interview, as you said, he's not judged on his percentage. He's judged on how good his soft skills are, how good his communication skills are, all such things. But our schools are somewhere not including this in their regular teaching. Should we include it? Because at the end of the day, 40-45 years after your education, you're going to utilize these skills. As you say, these are not soft skills, these are the super skills currently.
Yes.
So should they be taught in schools?
See, the soft skills is something which you cannot teach. You cannot teach the child soft skills. You should make him experience it. Psychology, psychosocial. See, I said, one child in my second batch, Sanjay Karande, I will never forget him. His name is in our school in the board, merit board, second batch, ranker. Very intelligent child. Intelligence academically. Which I came to know that time. After, when he was doing his medicine, MBBS when he was doing his MD, he came to see me with his fiancée. I'm going to get married to him because so much I am talking about you that she wanted to see who you are. Saying like that, after 1 year or so, I came to know that he committed suicide. So, it was a very shocking thing till today. I feel so guilty about it. So, that time I felt, okay, I have taught him, I had taken care of his academic intelligence, but not all in 360 degree. Not overall personality I had not taken care of his emotional intelligence, his impatience, tolerance, all that I had not done it.
Basically the survival skills.
Yes, the soft skills I have not done. From that time onwards, In Little Flower High School, I had to put Life in all the magazines in a very
yes. Also on our
from that time.
Calendar.
Yes. Life will be like, means you are not here to study 10th standard, 9th standard life. It's a life education.
As I told you, there is a hot topic going on currently: screen time.
Mm-hmm.
Parents are worried about their kids' screen time because during lockdown 3 years they were having their laptops, their tabs in front of them. Now they are glued to their tabs. Everything on their tab. Their parents also don't know what their kids are watching behind the closed doors. Ma'am, मेरा बच्चा dual screen खोल के बैठता है. They know this. मेरा बच्चा dual screen खोल के बैठता है. So when I come, he opens the studies wala part. Or when I come and I shout at him, what are you doing on your tab or your thing? Mama, I'm doing studies. No, I've got some work from school or I've got some homework from classes. How to tackle this problem?
See, it is not of the screen or... It is a matter of integrity.
Mm-hmm.
If you put the chip of integrity in the child right from his childhood, this problem would not be there. So we are blaming the child for you behaving like this, but the chip of integrity is not here. Since that is not, he will use any technology, whatever it comes, according to his pleasure, according to his enjoyment, he will do it, he will use it. He is a child, he will do it. But have you put that integrity chip right from? Then he will not have the cheating quality. Now you are saying about it, but you had not taken care when you were so small. So that to be a person of integrity, you should. Now, for example, small thing. You have told your brother's house that I am coming at 5 o'clock. Okay. So the child is with you. So he will be asking, Mama, we are going to uncle's house at 5 o'clock. No? You said, yes, I have spoken to you. But you are just after brother's house. No, you are not keeping the time 5 o'clock. So by 5 o'clock you will tell you will go at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Mama ka kar rahe na? So the child is learning, Mommy is not keeping her word. So he is not learning the time management there. Then suddenly when he grows, you say you are not getting up on time, you are not doing this on time. You cannot.
Okay, now coming to the last question. How were you as a child or as a student?
Oh my God. As a child, very weird one I was. Like my mother used to say, I can bring up 10 boys but not this one girl. So mischievous. I was very fond of animals, like childhood, even now also, but I am not allowed to keep animals now. Whenever I used to come from the school, I'll pick up some animal and come. Either one tortoise or someone rabbit or one. Anything I'll pick up and come. And it is extra burden for the mother, So when she comes, she will not look at me. She will see in my hand anything else she's bringing or what like that. So what I want, I do it. This is, as a child, it's a very weird thought I had, that my father used to understand me very nicely about me. For my mother, I was like a very wonder kid, anyhow, pray what she will do when I cannot understand. But my father, I think he was testing me always with some puzzles he will give me. One day when he was in a childhood, no, Amla, he'll call. Then when I turned, he said, I did not call you, I called the dog, he said. So I also did not realize I'm talking to my father. I also did not look at you, I looked at the dog which called me. I said, my father told us should be very careful with your put questions. It's like that, a kind of that's what people say. I was a bit different, because I was self. So much I was myself, As a student, I was a very curious child, I would say. To that extent, nowadays children don't ask questions. I want them to ask questions because I grew my intelligence only by asking questions. That is till today it is there with me. That's why my son never sits with me to watch a movie. Hindi, first of all, language problem. 100 questions I ask. Mama, if you want when I am not there, you watch. No, why you are watching with me? Till today we fight. Because I keep on asking questions. That nature is there from childhood. Even my son, when he comes from school, I'll ask him, how many questions you asked the teacher today? I used to ask him like that. So the question so much but because of that I learned and I was so adamant to know the answers. But because of that little I suffered also. During inspection, my teachers will put me last. With a severe warning, you will not open your mouth for any questions. They are So it was a questioning child I was. For everything I want an answer. I should be answered. It's like that. And little class, what I cannot tolerate, I could not tolerate. For example, when I was in 8th standard, one child, he was a monitor. They kept him as a monitor so that he will be regular to school. Such an irregular boy he was. Co-education. So that guy should have been told, should have told me, Amala, keep quiet or whatever it is. He came and hit me. Chupra, he was hitting. I couldn't tolerate it. Immediately I pulled his shirt, I put him down, I smashed him. The report went to the office. The principal was a friend of my father. They were together, I think, like that. Then I told, if you'd have told me, why did he hit me? Then I didn't like it because that is not for him. So what is not for me also I did. Right? So very cautious, a kind of, to handle me was a bit difficult as a student.
This is the reason you were good as a principal, I tell you. Because even I had a scenario in school. So, and there were many. I never saw you shouting at the kid who has done, some mischief or something. You used to be like, listen, you have to understand this. Anything happens, it will reach your parents. You want it to go there? No, sort it out with me. And I was like, how? Because no other teacher in my school was so calm.
And if you know that even the parents to inform, I don't want to call them and inform. I used to tell the child, take the freedom to tell your parent. I did this, Papa. You just come and meet principal. I don't want to tell your father. I want you to tell. And you tell him also, Papa, I warned you, my principal told not to hit me. Say that also. Either my principal will be very angry if you hit me. Say that also. Then the parent comes. Otherwise, what for they are calling me, what for like that they come. No? And the negatives comments, all that I don't like. So I tell you, did he tell, yeah, wo kuch to bola hai, kuch gadbad kiya hai. Gadbad means it is like this. So, but let us check. Even the parents, I put them at ease. Not to, because they are not criminals, yeah. They were brought to my office like criminals, no?
And we were made to stand outside your office until something is happening inside. We are standing for 15 minutes. In that 15 minutes, whole life, it comes in front of our eyes. What will happen when we
But when they come inside, they understand. Then I used to tell the teachers, those who brought him as a criminal, you go. Then I talk. Then they make them realize like what is what.
So ma'am, we are going to the last part of today's interview, which will also be followed by an hamper. So you have to be quick and your answers have to be witty.
For once you put me under tension, man. A student asking questions.
So they are going to be very simple personal questions.
No problem.
Okay. So what do you like to eat?
I like to eat nuts.
Okay.
I'm very fond of nuts. And coincidentally, you gave me that only today.
And you have also taken care of few nuts throughout your life.
Yes.
Okay. What do you like to do in your idle time?
Idle time? Reading.
What book are you currently reading?
I'm most of like human connecting, psychological books mostly.
Okay. What is your favorite quote? Quote by someone or your own personal quote?
Oh, one is like I told, for the parents, like your child is not your child. It is the responsibility. You cannot want. That's one thing. Another thing very famous of mine is like, it's a presupposition in NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Program. That is, if you cannot do this way, do something else. Don't get stuck. If it's not working, then do something else. So that's what I have been doing throughout.
Okay. What would the students be surprised to hear about you?
About me?
Yes.
If I'm not smiling.
Okay. What can you cook to perfection?
Oh, that is one famous thing in Tamil. Rasam.
Okay.
I'm very
now, the last two questions are my personal favorite questions. How do you remember every student's name?
It's a connection. See, when you say connect, contact is different, connection is different. Now I'm in contact with you. I'm close by. But I am connected with you. When you are not there also I'm connected. So your name is connected to me. Like every child, most of the names I remember.
You remember names, you remember the backstories.
Incidents. Mathematics is a story, somewhat. Mathematics teachers should have that imagination, should have the memory strong, then only they can be mathematics teacher. So my students, the love connection is the factor how I remember them, their names. It's mainly the connection, the love. They ever remain a part of mine, like little plus students.
And the last one is on public demand. How huge is your sari collection?
Oh, that's credit doesn't go to me. It's my husband. So my husband was so keen on my sari, this thing. So much that after he passed away, he left his body, where he used to buy saris, that fellow did the job. Okay. He was so much trained to choose the sari for me. When I go to the shop, he says, "Saap aisa saris aapko select karta tha na, ye aapka tha na, ye aapka tha na," like that. It's nothing of my selection. My husband and the shop owner. So
I've done a small part from my end. Oh. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. But
it was not even in my wildest imagination that I would interview you someday.
It was nice to listening to the questions of my student. It's a different experience.
I feel blessed like anything.
Really, it was a happy time for me also. Like, I must thank you for it. The thought of it, to interview madam, it's the thought of it.
When we thought of interviewing anyone, like we have a plan, the first person who came to my mind was you. Because whatever I am today, a lot of its credit goes to you.
Thank you.
Because from you I learned what kind of teacher I should be and what I should not be doing in my life. So even if I could achieve 10% of what you have achieved now, it would be a great pleasure for me.
Always. When you see, it's like, when you, don't say I want to follow you. For example, we say, don't follow Christ. I always say, be Christ. When you follow, you can never follow completely. You can never imitate a person. Be that person. If you feel, be me. That's it. Or better than me.
I'll try my best. Better
than me, I wish you. Sure. Thank you so much.
I've learned a lot from Mrs Amala Stanley today. In this interview, we have talked about kids, parents, principals' life, and how Amala Stanley was in her younger days. I had a lot of fun interviewing Mrs Amala Stanley today. To get more such people on our podcast, you have to drop a comment and let us know whom you want us to interview next. Thank you so much for watching this podcast. Kindly like, share and subscribe our channel and stay connected.